Gift of the Givers founder, member of the Eminent Persons Group, appointed by the President, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, is going to be joining us to chat further about this national dialogue. Well, good evening, Dr. Imtiaz. Thank you for your time here on the SABC at this hour.
Good evening, Lisa. Thank you for the invite.
So we've heard the announcement from our president, and given where South Africa finds itself at, and perhaps also just the contributions that are needed from all sectors of society, perhaps you could talk to how this national dialogue is actually going to help rebuild trust, just reaffirm that social contract between, leaders, government and its citizens, but also make sure that, all voices are heard. It's not going to be a hijacked agenda.
Well, the fact that, the president has now called for this kind of dialogue, which was by his own words, was in discussion for some time ago, it means the government is recognizing. But to be fair to them, as for some time now, they've been looking for partners. They've been looking at ways to involve people. COVID itself was a classical example where the private sector and NGOs and different groups got involved when it was realized that the government itself cannot manage to handle that crisis. And as a result of that, there's been discussion what corporates coming to work with the presidency, what transport, what unemployment, what energy sector, and there's a few other categories that they will look at working together. In my own experience, in the last few months or year or so, we're finding that government departments are more, compliant or more easy to access, to work with, to say, please join us, we can't manage. A classical example is disaster management. Right now, we're busy with floods, in the Western Cape and severe floods in Butterworth. We get called by provincial disaster departments, and they say you're part of us. When we do things, SABC calls us, they say you are part of us. So they must be doing it with other people too. So there has been a willingness already for some time where premiers, MECs, mayors, do different human settlements, provincial disaster management, national disaster management, and saying private sector or NGOs come, we want to work with you. And they know that once we come in, the private sector will come in to support and bring ease to government's burden. But this is more than that. It requires a change of ideas, a change of strategy, no bureaucracy, no red tape, better implementation. You come up with ideas, we are the coalface. We know what's going on. Everyone there is a specialist in its own field, sports, culture, arts, business. There's a whole lot of different people in that group. And each one will come with their own experience from the different sectors of society. And that experience, with us with having the ear to the ground, I don't know how this thing's going to work actually, because they haven't told us that yet. But, you will say these are the problems, but you can't just say these are the problems. You have to come to solutions also. That's my point of view. That you come with the problem, how to fix it, and these are the solutions. But when we give you the solutions, we don't expect it to go in the research room or in the laboratory or in the library. We want to see it done. If I get involved, I want to see it being implemented. That's going to be very, very clear. Because we implement it in our everyday work, what we do, we want to see that happening, that we're not here just to bring messages to you or to whoever's involved there and leave it to lie. Otherwise, we're wasting our time.
Well, absolutely. And I think there are questions about, whether for to those who are disillusioned about the intention of this, given the commissions and omissions, and whether this is just a talk shop of note. How does this restore faith in what is trying to be achieved here, but also questioning whether the costs could have gone to empowering other Chapter 9 institutions already tasked with executing such. Help us understand from your vantage point how this really is a turning point and a game changer for South Africa, 31 years into our democracy, but also as we charter the future.
The people are there from there, are most of them from out of government. They're not inside government. And when you're inside government, you have the red tape, you have the bureaucracy. I've had dialogue with government many times, and I said, you guys got fantastic laws, but your biggest hurdle is the red tape by implementing your own law. When a minister calls you and tells you, I want to release items for the floods, but my own law doesn't allow me to do that instantly, you've got a serious problem. And one of the things we have to do is go back and remove all those laws that are an obstacle for service delivery and whatever other else you have to do. And come with a wide range of people who are not bound. In government, you have to worry what the guy below you tells you and what the guy above tells you. You always worried, you always stressed out. Nobody takes a decision. That's why you have so many people and nobody takes a decision. The buck doesn't stop anywhere. And this kind of committee will say, look, these are the problems, and this is the solution, and this is what we're going to do. Now, in government, it keeps getting passed from one sector to the other sector to the other sector. Let's take disaster response. Who's responsible? Is it national, corporate governance? Is it a provincial one? Is it a municipality? Is it human settlements? Is it social development? Is it SASA? Is it national disaster management, provincial disaster management? The SABC, who's in charge? There's no system of who is in charge. So nobody gets blamed or the buck doesn't stop anyway. Now, those are the kind of things we've got to stop and change. And I've told this to them many times already. I'm talking from the NGO sector. I'm sure the business guys got something to complain about in terms of difficulty in making business, visas for other people to come in, different types of laws, and they got their own issues. So what all people they've selected on this group, I'm sure everybody's can bring something valuable from a practical point of view, how to change the system. Because once you're in government, you're just going to a rut. You get stuck with the same system over and over and over again. And you see it over 31 years, the same mistakes created over and over again.
Well, we're going to see what those national priorities entail and perhaps how this is also going to be implemented. Thank you for your time at this hour, Dr. Imtiaz, and for really weighing in on what's obviously been announced by our president, the National Dialogue loading, gift to the Givers founder and member of the Eminent Persons Group that has been appointed by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman joining us to chat a little bit further about the intention behind that.